All right, we'll get back to the Woman Show to Experience Radio Show live here. Our guest is here. She's a great friend of ours. She's a leader, educator, entrepreneur, activist, youth advocate, all of that above. She's a great proponent of self-love, self-care. She's a leader of the community. She backs up on talk with actions. So I want to get up from Miss La Polite. So how are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I say your name right this time. Yes. Last time. So,
yes. Glad to be back.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I know. We talked, I think, in the springtime. We had you back because a lot was going on then, and a lot going on now. So I'm ready to tell you, how was your week?
First week back was good. For me, it was good. I got to see a lot of students that I did not know. It's so funny seeing the student virtually and then seeing them face to face.
Right.
It's like, oh, hi. Oh, that was you. So they look different on screen than in person. So gave a lot of air hugs, a lot of elbow love. Just because I miss them, and it's different seeing a student, face to face versus behind the computer screen.
Right. I know. Like I said already plenty of times, I commend you and teachers for doing the work last year. In the midst of COVID, in the midst of y'all adjusting your plans and how your teaching style was, and doing on the computer, you learn all this new material, new technology stuff on the fly, and then some teachers did hybrid last year, did both, So I commend y'all because y'all the real winners last year. Get through that year with some uncertainty, things don't know what's going on. Kids are online, seeing faces, the screen off, and you trying to teach, trying to navigate, deal with distractions, deal with possible noises and rain and also like that. So I commend you because y'all did the work last year. I really did.
Some serious work.
So
we ventured on territory never found. Like this is new. It was new territory for everyone, all the way from school officials down to other custodians. It took a lot of quick preparation and just going out and executing everything that was stated as far as making sure that everyone understood the legalities or the expectations with virtual learning, and just making sure that everybody stayed safe in the middle of a pandemic. And it happened. It happened. A lot of people. We had a lot of loss, people losing family members because of COVID, people losing their jobs because of, COVID. So it was a lot going on. And, I commend every educator, not only myself, but every educator. Anyone involved in education during this time. Like, some people don't even know what we have going through.
That's right.
And we did it. We survived, we conquered. And I got a T-shirt.
Yes.
I bought a T-shirt.
That's what I said. You entrepreneur.
Listen.
Yes. So I did mention earlier in the show about the school district, and in terms of that, I felt that y'all should have started next week because I felt y'all weren't prepared to your standards, because I felt y'all needed more time in terms of get a classroom. Some of the schools were not ready. Some of the trash was out there. Then you had the rain on Wednesday, then the flooding, the 2-hour delay, and then reversal again yesterday. So, what are your thoughts that the start date? Do you think y'all should have started next week, or you was okay with that?
Yep. So my background, I was a certified school principal in the state of Florida. So my lens at looking at the education system is going to be a little bit more different than someone who hasn't gone through like principalship, like the program, and actually got a certification. So in my opinion, I feel like the start date, it was a good start date.
Okay.
Students that did not attend last week, they still have a chance to learn, classroom culture, school culture, and expectations next week. I feel as though, yes, teachers needed extra time. And it happens every year.
Okay.
In the brick and mortar, in that setting, in the school building, no matter any teacher in the United States of America, they will tell you It's not enough time. Like, we need 2 weeks. Now, there are some schools, like private schools, charter schools, that mandate a 2-week pre-planning period in order for teachers to get proper training and get their classrooms ready. However, in certain school environments, certain school districts, the teachers get 1 week and that's it.
Right.
And so it is up to the teacher to make sure that, you know, they stay on schedule, and just make sure that they come up with a strategic plan in order to execute everything they need before the first day of school. Is it hard? Extremely. And for teachers that have been teaching for 5 or plus years, it can get very monotonous and like, here we go again. So it's a part of the game. It's a part of it. And 2 weeks, like I've been in a school where 2 weeks planning, like they did have 2 weeks, like PD, and we had enough time to fix our classrooms to the entirety, and to the point to where we had at the end of everything we had a celebration, and teachers were able to go to other teachers' room to see how they laid out their classroom for the school year. So it can happen, but just depends on who the school leaders are and what they feel needs to be executed in order for their year to be successful. So again, to parents who decided to have their child stay home first week of school, just know that instruction was happening, things were happening. However, they will have another opportunity when we go back to school on Wednesday. So we do have a 4-day week. And then we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that is some more time for students to get to know their teacher, classroom expectations, school expectations, what's expected for them as a student as far as homework, what's expected for them in each of their classes.
Yeah, I know that is an adjustment for you, and they've been prepared and stuff like that. So, I want to get to your notes. You had a lot of notes going on.
I do.
Yes,
I'm ready. Look.
yes. So, so I want you to share with your notes, because I know you have a lot of wisdom, perspectives, and you were a former principal. So I'm still I'm like, she was a principal. I'm like, so
I was certified to be a principal.
Okay.
And then that's when I decided to move to Philly.
Oh, you were. Oh, but you never actually did a principal. Oh.
I had school leadership roles, but actually having my own school, I did not pursue that, and I decided to, like, after I got certified, I decided to move to Philadelphia.
I don't know. I asked this question before last show. Every time you was here, you ever thought about being principal?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a school principal. That was one of my goals in life.
Okay.
But I did change my mind. So, so moving here.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you because I think it would be a great one, especially the times we in right now in Philly. That would be a great time for you to shift.
Yeah.
You know.
And I could. However, child advocacy has my heart.
Right. I agree.
I love helping kids stay off the street. You know, me having that education background is like, yay, it's amazing, that's great. But to know that I have the tools in order to keep kids off the street and safe, in a safe environment, you know, with good meals, good state of mind, good health, expose them to the world beyond the city limits. You know, I want to do that. I want to invest time doing that. So, I still can have school leadership roles. I don't mind having school leadership roles, but I also have to keep in mind that I have 2 careers. Right. So I have to keep a good balance. You know, I have, me as an educator, and I also work for another company as well. Right. And to me, they're both equally important. So, I help out as much as I can within the school building. But I just know my limits with each job, and I try to do my best, that I can in each field.
So we get the question, since y'all fully back in the building and so the kids, what is your goal this year for these kids? For you as educator being back in the building, so preparing to be virtual. What is your goal for them? What will you hope for our kids this year?
Excellent. So that's a great question. I want to provide students an opportunity to heal. Create a space in order for them to heal. So that means being more patient, giving more wait time in the classroom. So like me asking the student to do something, sometimes, teachers may want quick results. But no, giving them some time to think and process what you're asking. Or if a student needs a break, you can tell that the student is getting frustrated. Coming back from virtual learning to the school can be very stressful. It can give students anxiety, but being able to take emotional temperatures and look at a student and know, okay, this student needs to be handled with care. This student needs a break, and being able to do that. So my biggest focus, I'm academically focused, but I feel like it's relationships before curriculum. And so you have to be able to create a good relationship with the student, not based on what a teacher told you they did in the past years, but this now moment. Develop a good relationship with that student. Make sure that student is properly healed and good in order to learn, and then that's when you can add academics and expect that student to perform proficiently or excel in academics.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the answer.
Trauma informed.
Yes. So to advise students to heal. That's wow. That's I think you said some relations before curriculum. I think that's very important.
Very important.
Because that's my new role. I'll tell you offline, but I have a new role now. So, and I'm trying to think about the theme. I talk about how I'm going about lessons with my kids about, and that's you're talking about relationships before curriculum. Also to get them to heal, space to heal. So. Since now, I want to, so you do child advocacy, that's your passion. And since you landed parents, a lot of gun violence has happened in our city.
A lot.
Especially amongst our youth.
We talked about it, and then it got worse on another level.
Yes.
Everything we talked about, the city initiatives, it did not happen, and now look where we are. Numbers are increasing. Let's talk. What is up with this number 15? The age 15.
What about 15?
We have a lot of youth that are dying that are the age of 15. What is so special about that age for the black male, for the for a low income child? That's that's underprivileged. What is so special about that age of 15? And that's what I'm going to do my research, so the next time I come on, I can tell you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because for some reason, so this is what I do know. The brain is not fully developed in a human body until the age of 20, 21.
Okay.
And if there is a delay, 23 and 24. So there are a lot of responsibilities given to teens that are 14, 15, 16 for whatever reason. Their brains are not properly developed. So how can we expect a 15, 16, 17-year-old make logical decisions and scientifically their brains are not fully developed? So that's something that we really need to look at as a community. We need to focus on the brain. That is what makes the body work. That is what makes us make our decisions and the way that we think. And everything is brain-based. That's how it should be. So I'm just disheartened that so many teens are dying. There is not enough activities for these kids to get involved in.
That's the sad part, because they said to put all this money out. Where the stuff they're going to do? Where is that stuff? I know it takes time to process, but when they first said it, it was like, stay in emergency, okay? So it's like now to see more kids getting shot.
Exactly. So as I don't want to get on a political realm. That's for another time, another year, coming soon. But as a city official, if I'm saying that I'm going to give financial resources into the community, what is that level of fidelity to ensure that money that you're giving to whomever company or community organization is actually doing what they're supposed to be doing? So it's a lot of checks and balances to see, okay, is this program really using this money and funding in order to stop gun violence in a 5 to 10 block radius from where that center or programming is? That's what we need to be looking at. And so, shout out to the city of Philadelphia for understanding the need in this community, because, you know, they are saying that they are creating solutions. Now we need to make sure these solutions are, like, you know,
follow through.
We're going to follow through, and we're going to see some change and a decline with murders going down in this city. And if we don't see the murder rate going down, that means whatever they thought was going to happen is not working.
Right.
So we need to go back to the drawing boards. We can't give up. And I understand, you know, what I've learned dealing with the gun violence and dealing with families that have lost loved ones due to gun violence, it can be a major burnout. So families that have experienced a lot of gun violence, they give up. They're like, I'm just tired. When is it going to stop? They may not have that urgency to be able to know how to stop it. So for other community members that, you know, you got that strength, that tenacity to do things to stop the violence in this community, we need your energy to help make it stop. And you know, looking at social media, we got a lot of people in this city that do great things in this city. But now it's time to take it to another level.
I agree.
It definitely is. You need to go into these rooms and just go through it and go crazy and take the guns out the rooms. If the youth come back and say, well, what happened? Who went in my room? That child should not be able to check you because you took a weapon out of their room or you took drugs out of their room. A child should not be able to check a parent when they took something that could possibly destroy them or kill them, take it out of their possession. And that's where we are right now.
That's a lot. So what have your conscience been like for you work with in terms of the gun violence since our last show? What has your conscience been like with them?
Listen, it's bad. That's it. That's all I can say. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. That's how bad it is. I can't even say. It's that bad. So what does that mean? It's time for us to come up with some good solutions that the kids can see that we can make a difference. We can stop this. Right now, the kids are thinking that this is a way of life.
Normalcy. Right.
You know, it was an incident that happened over the summer, very disheartening, but the youth came to me and just disclosed, this is my second time witnessing something like this. And I said, that is a problem. Because you, at the age of 14, should not be seeing certain things. And so, I just call our community members. We got to get out the office, get from behind the desk. We need to get in these streets.
Get in the communities and meet them where they are.
Meet them where they are. Yo, like I said, I'm going to keep saying it. If you see a kid and you get this little feeling that they need help, buy them a snack from the corner store. They like them juices and Snickers or chips. Give that to them and use that as a talking piece to see where their head is or where their mind is. And if we have more people do that in the community, I guarantee kids will want to give their guns up. All they want to see is that somebody care about me. You know, a lot of youth, they don't tell their story. They go through so much and they hold it on the inside because they're being strong or they got to be tough.
Right.
And if we just take a moment to just break bread with them and talk to them, I guarantee you, most of them kids will give their guns up. That's it. And have dinner time. Come up with a schedule where everybody's sitting around the table, and I don't care if it's takeout. I'm not judging.
Right.
A cooked meal. Sit down at the table, eat, and have a good time, and let them kids talk what's bothering them. That's very important.
Right.
I can
Yes.
talk all day about
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Because I think I told you the summertime I did this workshop when we was back in school, South Philly, called State of the Community,
Yes.
and I started it right after the 4th of July weekend. All the shootings happened and the violence went up, and I saw a news report. And I was like, I gotta do something. I gotta start conversations about it. I brought community leaders and community. I talked. We had to do virtual, and then for like a couple weeks, and then because of the policy, and then my boss at the time let me have them come in person. So they came in person, and the kids we enjoyed. They felt they were heard. They felt
That's good.
They felt
That's all they need.
They felt they were heard, and I felt like they were heard, and they felt that somebody came out there and cared for them. They were coming South Philly, and
Yes.
so that's okay. Hey, it wasn't one time. They came back to back, so that they cared, So and and I felt like our kids were being heard. And sometimes, like I felt that made a difference, and that's why I'm continuing to do that this year, make sure that our kids are being heard about what's going on, like about. Hey, we don't know what's going on. How do you feel about this? You know what I mean?
Give them a space to heal.
Right, exactly.
We have, as educators, caregivers, community leaders, we have to give a space for these kids to heal.
Right, and I totally agree with you on that. So you got some notes here. I want to kind of on topic a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, I want you to share what you have
All
on there.
right, cool. So I had to write on stickies because my iPhone.
Right.
Right now. But so I did want to give some back to school tips.
Okay.
So first of all, I want parents and caregivers to think about these last incidents that happened in the city.
Mm-hmm.
We had a hurricane to come to the city of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you 75 to 80% of the city was not prepared for Hurricane Ida.
Right.
Okay?
Right, I agree.
So what does that mean? What happens if we have another hurricane? Because hurricane is not technically over until, I believe, October, if I'm not mistaken. Look it up. I'm not a guru, but I know it's extended. It's for an extended time. I believe it's till October.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, what happens if we get another tropical storm, God forbid, or a hurricane, God forbid? Are you prepared? How can you be prepared? And for most times, when we have these natural disasters or emergency disasters, we depend on the city to help us. And we can't do that. We depend on the government to help us. We cannot no longer do that. You have to be able to be self-sufficient amongst yourself and your household and make sure you are prepared. You can't get mad at the government because they didn't do this, this, and this. No, what did you do for yourself and your household to be prepared for an emergency? And then they cancel school. It's going to happen. This is not going to be the first or the last time for it happens. So parents have to be, caregivers have to be prepared for emergencies. So what does that mean? What does that look like? Making sure that your gas tank is half or to full. I understand, we get it how we can, but just thinking of emergencies, you always want to have a half tank of gas or more at all times. There was a time during the summer where we experienced no gas. People going to the gas stations. Gas stations are shut down because there's no gas. Just imagine if you have been riding around on E for 2 days straight and then there's no gas. So make sure that you always have gas in your car. Another thing is you want to make sure that you have non-perishable foods. Because for whatever reason, you may not be able to leave the house. You want to make sure there's plenty of canned goods, frozen foods that you can cook and that can sustain you for 5 to 7 days in an emergency. You want to make sure that you have batteries, flashlights, portable chargers. What else did I say? Know who your village is. Because say for instance, if you're in Center City stuck at work, and they shut down the school at noon, who's your village to be able to assist you with your children or your relatives that are in school? So know your village, know who your village is, make sure your village knows, okay, you are a part of my village. Are you able to do this, this, and this in an emergency? So know who your village are. Make sure you have all the emergency contacts available, not only for yourself or the caregivers, the children need to know who to contact in an emergency, just in case. So that's super important. But that has been on my mind so heavy because we as a people, we always depend on someone else to help us in a state of an emergency. If COVID and being in quarantine has not showed us that we have to depend on ourselves, we have to moving forward, and that is for our own survival. So there is no excuse on, well, I couldn't do this because, no excuse. Take care of yourself and make sure your household is ready for any type of emergency that can happen at any time. We had riots in 2019. Look what happened. Some people couldn't even go to the grocery store because, like, it was a mess.
Right.
911 wasn't answering the phone. It was a lot. So what can you do in order to remain safe in an emergency? That's what we are. Next, I do want to give some COVID preparedness back to school tips for parents and caregivers as well, and students. So the number one rule of thumb is always have supplies ready. So you should have a drawer or a cabinet or some space in the house for COVID supplies. Now, what are some suggested COVID supplies? We're talking about the face mask, okay? You can have the surgical mask, and this is the mask that I have on right now, or you can have cloth masks, okay? Now, the city is asking that all residents not only wear a surgical mask, but they are to wear a surgical mask and a cloth mask in order to ensure that COVID numbers stay down. However, in the schools, this is the only thing that is mandated for students and anyone within that school building. This is all they, can wear. It can be this or the face mask. But just know that city officials they're pushing for 2 masks. Also, you need to make sure you have gloves. It's very important to wear gloves during certain circumstances. For an example, when you start cleaning the house, you don't want to clean the house with bare hands. You can carry germs that way. Or if you go to the grocery store, wear gloves because you're going to be handling a lot of items and you don't want any germs to get on your hands. Or when you go to the gas station. The gas station, when you pick up that pump, it has a lot of germs. COVID, the Delta variant, that could be right there on the pump. You want to have gloves on when handling the gas pump. So gloves are very important. So masks, it could be cloth, surgical, hand sanitizer, gloves, anything else I could think of, shoe covers. So most homes in Philly, the rule of thumb is take your shoes off at the front door. For most households that I've been in, they say take your shoes off at the front door. That's an excellent rule of thumb because you've been walking all on whatever neighborhoods on the block, and then if you walk in the house with those same shoes on, everything that was in those streets is now in your house and it is tracked all over the floor. So another good rule of thumb, if you don't wear shoe covers, you can actually take your shoes off and, go through the house with, clean socks, or just have like a bin of clean socks at the front door and just make sure that everybody knows, listen, you got to take your shoes off at the front door, you need to put some shoe covers on. And that's it. There's no argument. So just make sure that you are prepared, just COVID prepared, and have Lysol. Right now the stores, different stores are looking bare, but you gotta know when the delivery people get to that store, so you get straight to that store and buy all the necessary supplies that you need. And back to school. As far as the school is concerned, get to know your child's teacher or academic team. Make sure that all teachers know who you are as a parent. Now, I love when parents are just straight up with me and they come to me and say, yo, Miss Polite, let me tell you, I have a crazy schedule. I work 6 days a week. and like, you know, it's a lot going on in my household right now.
Right.
So that means it's my responsibility as a teacher to ensure that I can accommodate that parent and their child because things are hectic. So please, I think it's a good thing for parents to be very upfront with the teachers and say, this is what I'm expecting. This is what I can do, and this is what I can't do. If you call me during the daytime, I'm not going to answer, but you can call me during this times. So just make sure that, you know, you guys know the expectations, you know, of each other. Make sure that your child has a homework time. Make sure your child has a homework folder, a communications folder. That child should have a set homework time. And they know that, okay, from 4 to 5 is homework time.
Right.
And make sure that they're doing their homework. Now, there are some parents that are busy and they don't have time to watch over their child during homework time. I get it. But if that child knows to sit down and do their homework, and you're going to check to see if they do it, or those grades is going to reflect on what they've been doing, they're going to do their homework. And be positive. It's so easy for a person to be negative and just say, like, what happened on Friday. It's so stupid why they had to cancel school. That's so dumb. I wasn't affected by the flooding. I wasn't affected by the hurricane. Well, the city was affected. Right. So that means we were affected by the hurricanes.
Correct.
So children hear the way that you speak about the school or the school district. We got to be careful about that, because if we talk bad about our child's teacher out loud and they hear it, how can we expect them to do good in that class? How can we expect them to respect that teacher? Or there are some parents, they're not good in math, they're not good in science. Math is so stupid, science is so dumb. Make sure you don't say that in front of your child, because they may, but it's a good possibility that they may not put in a lot of energy and time and effort to do good in science and math because of how their parents or caregivers feel about it. So speak positive, use positive affirmations, and if, you know, things are like, instead of saying, did you have a bad day? We don't say the word bad, okay? We as a community been hearing the word bad for years. What you should say is, how was your day? Allow the child to speak. Well, that sounds a bit challenging. What can we do to turn around our day tomorrow? And just have that brief conversation, less than 5 minutes, and keep it moving. Don't yell at a child or give them punishment because of a choice that they did in the classroom was negative. Use every moment as a learning moment. And it's not easy to do that. It's going to take time, but it can actually happen. And I think that is everything that I wrote on my sticky notes. Oh, as far as therapy. Make sure, if you know for a fact your child needs therapy, and every parent and caregiver knows their child, make sure they reach out to the school. If the school does not answer back in a timely fashion, because we know it's a lot going on right now,
right,
that means you need to talk to the child's primary care physician, PCP, and tell that primary child's physician, my child is experiencing some type of breakdown mentally, or needs some extra therapy and support. I need help immediately. And your child's PCP will point you in the right direction on who to go to. And that's about it. Just make sure your child go to school, because if your child doesn't go to school, and if they don't go to school and you don't write an absence note, just know that you could possibly have truancy issues in the long run. So if your child does not go to school, make sure they go to school with a note to excuse them for their absence. They are being very strategic this year about absences due to a lot of students missing school during virtual learning. So I'm letting you know right now, the attendance policy, they're going to be very more strict. Your child's school is going to be very more strict about your child attending school every day. So please make sure your child attends school every day on time. public schools, they serve breakfast in the morning, so make sure they get to school on time to have breakfast. We also serve lunch. So, we all have to do our part to ensure that the child has a successful year. And we could talk about this all day.
Right, wow. I like that. I like the fact you talked about. You said one thing, everything you said was on point. And one of the things you said was don't say the word bad. And I like that. Yeah, I like that. That's a new one. Like, don't say the word bad.
Don't say the word bad.
Change the word. It's about changing the word and changing the perspective. So because you hear the word bad all the time, it's like it's bad, but at the same time, instead of like, hey, how it was challenging. Okay, how do I get better? Get back to the kid.
And then we have to think in African American history, looking back in our past, 200, 300 years ago, we were deemed bad because of the color of our skin. So we have to make sure that generational curse from 200 and 300 years ago is not being passed down 2021, 2022.
That's right. It's a different year, and now we had to think differently and think greater. Can't have the same mentality because virtually it's different now than in person now because our kids are experiencing a lot. So now most of them will be adjusted back to society because they've been home for a long time and they lost touch with people, how to talk to people, how to have conversations about how your day was. Hey, so it's I think it's about being together and being positive and being loving and caring, and being extra patient and being flexible with them because they don't get it right away, but be patient with them, be consistent with them, and always be available.
Always be available. You're never too busy.
Right. So it's been an honor to have you again.
Blessing.
Yes.
I'll be back.
Yeah. So what else you have planned right now, as of right now, like currently?
So so yes, I have again 2 careers, and then also I'm personally working on being a foster mom. So I'm finishing up the last stages of me being a foster mom.
Okay.
I'm almost at the finish line. So I'm very, very proud of myself and my team as far as getting the house together. I purchased a home last year around this time, and God has just come through as far as the house being fully furnished, the ideas for the house, me giving the house an identity. The house is called House of David. I am projecting to have 4 boys in this home.
Okay.
And if God sees fit for me to have more, the house is fit to have at least 6 kids. So very, very happy about that. I'm getting excited. Whew, okay. But what I'm excited about is when you walk into the house, my biggest goal is that you feel love and that it's a sanctuary. And, each room has a theme. And when they walk into the house, they'll see that I was very, very strategic with having each room decorated with a theme for certain reasons. And so coming up really soon, the house will be fully furnished. It'll be done, ready for kids to come in. I do have some last minute things to do. So I was projecting for the house to be open this time, but had a little setback. But setback is a setup for something greater.
It's been preparing for more, preparing you more.
Yes, and so something that I've learned as far as being an entrepreneur is that you're always patient in that moment. It's so easy for us to get caught up in looking at other friends doing certain things and they're just booming. But it's a process for everyone, and know who you are. And literally, I drink water, take vitamins, and I mind my business. And I do everything I need to in order to make sure that this house is the best house ever for kids that I'll be introduced to. So my hope is to possibly get kids October, November. And so I get to bless someone with a special home during the holidays.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm very, very happy about this. A lot of hard work and time went into just putting this whole idea, this vision to come about. And I'm just glad that I'm in a place where I manifest immediately. So just having the level of my faith, nothing stop me for what God has called me to do,
right.
and what I've been chosen to do. Nothing can stop me. And so I'm just glad I'm at this place, because moving to the city, I'm just like, I'm hanging around all these great people that are doing so much good in the city. And I'm like, God, when is it going to be my turn? And so it's my turn. And I'm in the driver's seat. And I'm going to start something great in this city. I can't disclose too much.
Right.
But keep following me.
Right.
My name is La.
La Polite.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes.
And I still love Philly. I'm telling you, it's crazy here. A lot of things that happen that will not happen in any other city.
Right.
But I love it here.
Right.
Like, Philly is not for everybody.
That's right.
And now I see why so many people in Philly stay in Philly. It's a hardly that people move away from Philly. And I see why, because the heart is big past all of the smoke screen of the negativity. Everybody's heart is big in this city. It looks different ways, but they love hard, and it's good people in this city. It's still good people. Don't think just because what's happening, this city is not a good city. This city is still a good city, and there's a lot of good people in this city.
That's right.
And that's what we need to focus on. When we focus on the light, that'll run darkness away. And we need to be encouraged as a city. Yeah. And I love everybody. That's it.
Wow.
Yep.
What a great way to close it out. Like your light will outshine the darkness. Your light. Yeah. So
your light. Don't let anyone dim your light.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So La Polite, thank you for being a guest on my show again. So we're gonna see each other again down the line. When the time comes,
more. And I'm doing an open house.
Oh yeah, right.
It's gonna be private for close family and friends that have been with me since the beginning. And of course, you and your wife are invited.
Okay.
So be looking out for an invite.
Okay.
For that.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I wish you best of luck in terms of your journey. Keep God first, especially also teaching as well. Impacting those kids and the times they're going through. You know, keeping that, taking one day at a time. You know, also get a shout out. You do adventure, you endeavor. You know, paying those boys and how much your light was shone on them, you know, to become greater young men, you know what I mean? So, and, you know, I'm very proud of you, who you are becoming, you know, so we're going to talk online about what I'm doing, so, but for those who are watching, thank you for joining us, Zoe Duran, thank you so much. He wrote, faith plus work is equal success, light is always greater. He will provide and work in it. So you said great show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And for those who didn't watch it, I hope you tune in, share the video, watch it, take notes, comment, because she provided great tips for y'all for COVID, parents, teachers, and home, you know, to slow down this virus. It's still out here. People are still getting it, you know, so, you know.
And children are getting it now.
Yes. People are getting it.
So who wants a child to suffer from COVID? That breaks my heart.
Right, and so you gotta be mindful. And another time, I'm not gonna boast about getting vaccinated, but if you decide to get, it's a good decision. It's not about you; it's about the other person. You know what I mean? So I'm not promoting that, but you have not got vaccinated. Think about who you impacted by not getting it. So. And
Lavon, for those that don't want to get vaccinated, this is something else they can do: get weekly tests.
Okay, okay. Right.
So there's some people that don't want to get vaccinated, and we don't want to make them feel bad because it's about choice. But if they decide not to, get weekly tests every week. And you need to have the results available, because if you go into a business, this is where we're going, they're going to ask you, have you been vaccinated? And you have to show proof of that, or show proof of your last COVID test. So if you don't get vaccinated, you have to get weekly tests and have those results on you, because there are businesses, this is where we're going, they will turn you away if you cannot show proof of vaccination or a recent negative COVID test.
Right, that's right. Yep.
And I've been taking my weekly test.
That's good. Yeah, like you said, that's a good option. Option for those. Yeah, like you said, we need COVID tests. That's an option. And for those who don't want to get vaccinated, but you still have that choice. You know what I mean? You get your choice: vaccinate or get COVID. As long as you're okay, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
As long as you're okay, that's all that matters.
Try to stay negative. That's it.
Yes, try to stay negative. That's it. Turn the COVID test, not his mindset, but COVID negative, and not mindset negative.
COVID negative.
Yes. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Yes. For those who enjoy Western Saturday, it's nice brother out here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Relax. I know you have a long break this weekend in terms of not being in school, so enjoy your break and just be mindful, be grateful. Be thankful, and just knowing that God's with you and God will never leave you nor forsake you. So with that being said, we'll see you on the show next Saturday for our great show on the Romans Travel 2 Experience Radio Show.